And that's where we start tonight with one of the new faces in the Trudeau cabinet, Immigration and Citizenship Minister Marco Mendicino. Mr. Mendicino was first elected in 2015 in the Toronto riding of Eglinton-Lawrence. He's served as parliamentary secretary to several ministers, and this is his first time sitting at the cabinet table. Marco Mendicino, I guess the first order of business is congratulations.
Thanks so much.
The job is very new, but what would you say when you look at this new portfolio that you'd have inherited? What do you think is going to be your biggest challenge?
Well, first, it's a profound honor to have been asked by the Prime Minister and to enjoy his confidence to being appointed to Cabinet and to take on a portfolio, the Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship portfolio is one that has a very personal dimension to it for me as the son of an immigrant family who made the journey like so many other families have to Canada in search of a better life. And in fairly short order have been able to establish ourselves, like many families have here. And now to be able to serve in this capacity is as I say, it was a very memorable day yesterday. My wife and two girls came up. We got to take that walk up the driveway up to Rideau Hall. We were able to share a few very special moments walking into this big mansion, and just to be able to share that with them was special.
The portfolio, during the election campaign, your government, the Liberal government, the Liberals, promised to increase. Already we're going to be increasing our levels of immigration from 260,000 a year to 330,000 a year, but you promised to further increase that. Is that still in the cards?
Well, the growth that we have seen in immigration is modest, it's responsible, it comports with the advice that we've been getting from experts, including economists who say that immigration will help drive economic opportunity and growth, and we have seen that. We've seen that commentary not only internally to government, but also from partners in the private sector, including from a number of financial institutions. So it's modest, it's responsible, and we continue to look at those trends as being an important opportunity.
So increasing even beyond 330,000?
Well, again, we have 3-year rolling targets, and so that is a very transparent way in which we can educate the public about how we're going to grow in a responsible way, and we're going to continue to take that advice. And I'm getting briefed up on that and look forward to having those conversations with my partners at the provincial level of government and doing some of that important outreach. We've got very strong relationships with the provinces and the territories, but also we have grown our relationship with municipalities who are playing an increasingly important role in helping us shape immigration policy.
I have to ask something. I spent the entire election campaign, most of it down in Atlantic Canada. They talked about the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Project, and it got a lot of praise from both community groups and employers, because it facilitates employers bringing skilled people here, and they integrate them more into the community. Everyone wants that to become permanent, that we spoke to in Atlantic Canada, because that's very much essential to their future. Is it going to become permanent, that pilot project?
Well, it has been encouraging, and I know in particular in provinces like New Brunswick, who have seen this pilot project as an opportunity to attract highly skilled, highly educated individuals who may very well wish to become Canadian one day, has shown some early successes. So we're going to continue to study the results and the outcomes and the positive impacts of this pilot project, and we'll see where it goes from there. But having the province, and also importantly, having business play this role, employers.
But has a decision been made yet? Yes or no?
Who are able to identify very prospective and potentially successful applicants in the long run, I think is a new innovation to this file. So I'm looking forward to, again, meeting with my provincial counterparts, listening to stakeholders who've helped shape this pilot project in Atlantic Canada, also in rural Canada, and to see where we go from there.
Let's talk about something. You've sat in the House of Commons for 4 years, and for 4 years, one thing that's come up over and over and over, ever since the announcement of for example, the Syrian refugees, has been the issue of asylum seekers and the issue of safe third country. Safe third country. This summer, President Trump in the United States made it even harder for refugees from Latin America to come through the United States. It's going to be virtually impossible for them to apply for status, refugee status in Canada. More and more groups, the NDP and human rights groups and immigrants groups, are saying that Canada should scrap the idea of a safe third country with the United States. You know that. You also know that the Conservatives are arguing the opposite, that safe third country should be applied across the border no matter where you come into Canada. Your government's been studying it for 3 years. It's been under review. When are we going to know what the status is of that arrangement we have with the United States?
Well, I know my colleague, Minister Blair, who has now taken on the public safety portfolio, has been engaged in discussions and dialogue with the United States on this very issue.
Right.
And I know those conversations are continuing, and I look forward to being a partner with him on this important subject. But the comment that I would make with regards to this specific issue is that the Canadians should be confident that we have an immigration system and a border security that does ensure the safety of Canadians, that those individuals who do attempt to enter into the country irregularly are processed through a system that ensures due process, that ensures the safety and the security of Canadians is a paramount objective. And we will continue to work not only with the United States, but with all of our partners and our allies to continue to ensure those priorities are met.
But are you going to be pressuring him? Because the political pressure is not going to, I mentioned both sides, the political pressure is not going to go off, not going to come off of you, and you, even if you're not responsible for it, suffer the consequences if there's a problem with a safe third country agreement. Are you going to be pressuring your colleague to get you an answer from the United States? It's been 3 years that this has been under review.
I have tremendous confidence in Minister Blair, who himself brings not only over 35 years of experience as a local police officer. He was the chief of police for, I think, 10 years in my hometown in Toronto, and as a former federal prosecutor myself, who served on the front lines of the criminal justice system, understand very well how important public safety is as a priority to Canadians. So I want to be able to lend my voice to this priority, and I know that Minister Blair and I will have some very important discussions about this in the coming days, again, as I am getting briefed up on the portfolio, and I'm very excited about this work.
In Quebec, one of the first meetings that the Prime Minister Trudeau had with the new Quebec Premier, François Legault, was a little while ago, and they discussed immigration in Quebec. The Quebec government is reducing the numbers, or certain categories of numbers of skilled immigrants. In Quebec at the same time, the employers groups and a lot of social groups are saying that they are desperate to increase the number of skilled immigrants in Quebec. Is that an issue that you're going to be active on? Are you going to be pressuring your Quebec colleague, or is because of the accord with Quebec, do you leave it entirely to them? Are they totally autonomous on making decisions like that?
Well, first, I would commend the Prime Minister for reaching out to Premier Legault, as he has been doing right across the country in the short days after the election. And I look forward to reaching out to my provincial counterpart in immigration in Quebec, and indeed right across the country. Look, there is an established accord with Quebec that provides a lot of flexibility and provides a framework within which Quebec is able to shape its policy. And look, in the meantime, I'm going to continue getting briefed up on this portfolio. That old adage about drinking from a fire hose, I think, applies with a lot of force, and I'm looking forward to taking on this role and really continuing to shape immigration policy in a way that is open and confident, and in the proud tradition of this country, which is a leading example right across the world about how people can come from virtually any part of the world and contribute positively to Canada.
Okay, well, something gives me I think I see the image of Marco Mendicino going home this weekend on the flight back to Toronto with piles and piles of briefing binders.
That's an image that is played out already today, right off the bat, and I'm really looking forward to it, and obviously profoundly honored to have been asked by the Prime Minister to serve in this role and to serve Canadians.
Okay, we'll look forward to speaking to you over the course of the next few months and years.
Thank you.